Yo, what's up? It is Lev.
And I'm Lex.
From Lex and Lev. And today we're going to talk about dating mistakes that happen as you are trying to find your kingdom spouse. Now look, we've made some mistakes and we understand that mistakes happen, but we want you to hear ours so that you don't have to repeat them. Is that right, sweetie?
That is correct.
So in this video, make sure you watch to the end. I think these are going to be some good ones. We're going to do one for each of us because there's probably more. This will be a super long video.
Definitely more.
All
I'm
right.
just being honest.
All right. Let's jump into it.
Yes.
Sweetheart, real quick.
Yeah.
What was the biggest mistake you made when dating to find your kingdom spouse?
Yeah. So... This is a super vulnerable topic and we're really like putting stuff out there.
Yeah.
So I would say for me, it was dating based off of potential. It could be a thing that I'm just super nice, or maybe it's a gift, but I have a tendency, like when I meet people, and this is anybody, I always see the best in them.
Yeah.
Like it's hard. They really have to go out of their way for me to be like, nah, like I'm good. So when it came to dating, it was kind of the same way, where I would meet someone and they were nice, but of course, like us all, like myself, we have things that we got to work on, right?
Yeah.
And what I realized was I was trying to connect with someone that was comfortable with where they were. And that happened to me multiple times where I'm like, oh, okay, I see that they have this little tweak, but that's okay because I know that it's going to change. It's going to get better. I can fix it.
Ooh.
And I couldn't.
Right.
And I would get disappointed and I would get upset. And oftentimes it would lead to arguments with me and the other person because it would be like, why are you trying to change me? Like, what's wrong with the way that I am? And in reflecting on that, I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to see the best in people.
Yeah.
But I think had I exercised a little bit more wisdom and discernment to say, okay, I recognize that this is where this person is.
Yeah.
And I'm also beginning to recognize that they're comfortable with where they are.
Yeah.
So God bless you. Praise God. It doesn't work for me, but I'm glad it works for you.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna exit stage left.
You know what? And I want to interrupt you right here, just because I keep hearing this overwhelming thing on the inside while you're talking. I keep hearing, he saw the best in me when everyone else around me could only see the worst in me. I'm gonna stop. But yeah, I just heard that song, but I think what I'm hearing from you is, it's not that you saw things that stood out or were problems. It sounds like they didn't want to actually work on it.
Right.
Me knowing you, because you're like, hey, I don't mind as long as you're working on it.
Yeah.
Is that what you're getting to?
There was, and again, it's hard, like without going into details and specifics, but I think, you know, for us to want to change something or to change something, we have to be aware that it's something that's going on first. And some people just don't know, like they don't have that awareness and they're not in circles or in environments where they can learn these things about themselves. And for me, being the person that I am, who's like hyper vigilant, hyper super aware, not only do I see like opportunities for growth, but I also see like so much potential in people. Like I just see the best in them, even if they're not showing up as that person that at that time, I still see it. And so I would often find myself growing attached or developing feelings for the potential and not really paying attention and, you know,
seeing that they may not want to
want to be that person that I'm seeing.
Yeah. I think, you know, from my experience with you, you saw the best in me, and you was like, you don't want to fix that? And I was like, I don't know if I want to fix it or not, but I guess.
Say it like that though.
You sure? I'm just joking.
People were like, what is wrong with her?
No, she didn't say like that. I was just being silly. But no, like you would say like, babe, I think that's something you may want to pay attention to. Is this something that you think is a problem? Or is it something that you think is okay? And I'm like, well, if you bring it up, it's probably not okay. Number one. So it kind of let me think about it. And then I would be able to, after being used to it, say, okay, what do you think? And get guidance for it. So I think that for us is what made that mistake turn into an actual asset. An asset to us. What are your thoughts?
I think so. You know, one of the things that I had to learn, especially after getting certified as a coach, was I don't have to show up as coach in my relationships.
Right.
And so when I would ask you, like, do you notice that? Or, you know,
see that right there?
Do you see? Yeah, that was me giving the invitation without trying to impose.
Sure.
And for a while, again, especially after getting certified, it took me a while to learn how to do that. And it's something I'm still learning how to do. But yeah.
You do it well.
Thank you.
She do a good job, y'all. Real talk. I am not the man that I am today if it wasn't for her seeing the potential, but giving that invitation. So I think, you know, to surmise your mistake is it's okay to see the potential, but don't allow seeing the potential to override seeing that the person doesn't have the desire to get better.
Or just, I mean, I guess. I feel like there's a nicer way to say that.
Oh, well, I mean, you know. Hey.
You know, I think it boils down to complacency. I mean, that's the bottom line is, for me, I was so attracted to the potential that I was ignoring the complacency. Yeah. And that always ended in disaster.
I'm glad.
So, what about you?
For me, I would say being impatient.
Okay. Do tell.
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake that I've made, and because it speaks to my personality, when I have a strong conviction, my brother told me this, that when I get a strong conviction about something, you're not getting me off of it.
That
so
is true.
when I bite into something, I'm all in, and I'll figure it out as I go. And sometimes love could be something that pushes you to be all in without doing what we would call the proper dating. Because dating, I think, is really getting information, really getting data, like getting all the information and making a decision. Do you move forward for marriage, or do you say, like, based off the data, I'm gonna move on. You have a nice life. And I think for me, if I love you, if I rock with you, it's so much you would have to do to sway me not to be that way. So for me, there was a time where I was just impatient, and I was all in until the Lord started prophesying to me and was like, nah, that ain't it. And I'm gonna show you why it's not it, but I'm prepping you to understand that you may have been moving a little too fast. You know, like, I think all the serious relationships that I've had, they start out really, really well, and some of them are long term, but I move fast, you know, and I don't slow down. And I think with us, even though I had all the prophetic, even though I had all the prophetic words, I still moved fast. But I knew in 2 months. Yeah, I knew in 2 months that I was going to marry you. I could have married you 2 months after we started dating and been fine with it, and not question my decision. But that's the type of person I am. When I know I want something, I'm going after it. I don't stop. I don't quit until I get it. And that's not always a good thing, right, when it comes to dating, because again, you don't get enough information. I think, you know, maybe that's another video. Like, what is kingdom dating from a perspective of getting data? Like, how does she interact with her parents? How does her parents interact with her? How does her sister interact? Like, I wanted all that data. And I think even with you, I was like, well, I don't care about that. I know she the one. And it worked out. But that could be such a gamble when you are dating for purpose. So I want to share, like, slow down. And it's okay, because if it is what it is, it'll be there.
Right.
You know, if that person is for you, slow down, take your time. But I know, would you call that impulsive? Would you call that?
A little bit. The part about wanting to dive in really quick, and because I've met people that want to get engaged after like a month. Like I had that situation happen.
Yeah.
And that is very impulsive.
Yes.
Because even if we're dating in the name of the Lord, like there's some things that we need to figure out. Like that's just prudent. That's just wise.
Yes.
And so I think when you're talking kingdom dating, Christian dating, obviously we don't date and have marriages like the world does.
Sure.
So there are some parts to discern, but I think like when it comes to the impulsivity aspect of it, that can be really dangerous if it goes unchecked. And I can see how that can lead to relationships that
don't work out.
Yeah,
because you missed a lot of steps. You missed a lot of information. So that's been historically my issue, is that when I see something, I want it, and I'm like, I think this could work, and I'm all in early. But I knew clearly, like God knew to give me those prophetic words because I'm like that, and that always reassured me.
Yeah.
So once things happen, I'm like, okay, God said it. It's not just my impulse. It's not just my conviction or whatever. God is backing it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of kingdom marriages, even in the dating phase, is accelerated because we hear people's story. Is not the date 4 or 5 years, get engaged, be engaged for 2 years, then get married.
Right.
Like you had a whole 7-year life with this person before you got married. Yeah. It's just, to me, the trend when it comes to kingdom marriages that actually are purposeful, they don't take long to date. They don't take long to date. So again, this is a fine line. You have to know yourself. You got to know the situation, but being impatient. Being impatient can really lead to some disaster.
Yeah, and something that's dropping into my spirit as we're talking about this is, some of you may have been able to pick up on it, but Lev and I are really trying to be mindful and respectful because we're sharing experiences that involve other people.
Yep.
And this in no way, shape, or form is meant to shade anyone that we've encountered or dated in the past, because we were just as culpable as the other person was. Sure. But with that being said, what's dropping into my spirit is that whatever the mistake is, it's really important to be mindful of it, because not only can you possibly put yourself in a situation or a relationship that's not great, but you can also inflict harm on yourself that God doesn't want for you.
Yes.
God doesn't want for us. Like when you're talking about being impatient, like you can rush into something and be dealing with someone that can really inflict traumatic, emotional, spiritual, and even physical wounds.
Yeah.
For me, with the dating for potential, it's the same thing. You get involved in a relationship that can not only just create a really unhealthy atmosphere, but it can also create lasting wounds that you're going to take with you moving forward. Yeah. And so as we're sharing these 2 mistakes that we made, we know there's so much more. And we invite you to continue the conversation in the comments with us.
Please.
You know, there's so many, but we want to start the conversation so that 1, you're not making the same mistakes that we did.
Please.
But 2, like, we know what it's like to wait. We know what it's like to be in that formation season, right? To cry out. And the sooner we can gain that personal awareness to say like, oh man, you know what? I should probably not be doing that. I should probably not be, you fill in the blank. The sooner you can start healing and recovering and growing from the things that are causing you to make those decisions and those choices, and be more ready to receive your kingdom spouse.
Yeah, I love it. And then in addition to that, sweetie, I think it's so important, and this is again why I think kingdom dating and finding your kingdom spouse is totally different than the world. Like, you have to understand you care about that person that you made that dating mistake with.
Right.
you know, you have to go before God and say, Lord, forgive me, have mercy on me, and pray for that person, because you don't want to be the reason why they have a wound. Yeah, you don't want to be the reason why they distrust the dating process, or they don't think there's any good men or any good women out there, even though you presented yourself as a Christian, someone wanting marriage. You could really do damage to them. And I think some of us may need to take a moment, and I've done it, to ask the Lord to forgive you of what you may have done to that person. Mm-hmm. And what stains or what trauma did you inflict by, hey, I thought this was it, it's not, bye. You know, because there's another human being, there's another family, there's memories that are there, and I think it's safe to just cover yourself in prayer, cover them in prayer if you had dating mistakes or blunders. Like, it's not just about how it affected you. There was someone else on the other side of that. So
that's good, man.
Yeah, man, because the Lord, listen, Lord said, pray and pray for them. Okay, Lord. All right, God. All right, Lord, bless them. You know, with tears in my eyes. So with that being said, sweetie, do you have anything?
No, I think we went there.
Yeah. And I think it's an opportunity for, again, if you want to continue the conversation down in the comments or on our next live stream, definitely when we do another Q&A, please come with questions. We would love to answer them. We had so much fun on our first one. Yes. And depending on when you're watching this, we probably had more in between then and now. So with that being said, I just want to invite you to become a part of our extended family. You can become a cousin by clicking that subscribe button down below. Plus, when you become a cousin, we get to pray for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So hit the like button, subscribe, but more importantly, YouTube is recommending this video that's on the screen right now, and we want to know, did they get it right? So click on that video, meet us on the other side, and let us know down below in the comments. So with that being said, we'll see you on the other side and in our next video. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.